Ukraine's Minister of Interior has been killed in an accidental helicopter crash, according to reports. We also have some changes to the front lines. I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. It's January 18th, 2023. This is your daily Ukraine update. Let's get right into it. Okay, first, as always, we will check the control map. And as you guys can see right now, the reports are looking like, let's see if we can get this to update. There we go. That instead of advancing towards Blahodatne or Sil, Russian forces appear to be moving somewhat to the north, taking this largely open terrain near Krasnopovlika. We also, when we zoom out, see some limited changes near, again, open ground, and taking the town center of Klitschivka. So some minor gains by Russian forces, but operationally not a significant change, relatively speaking. Particularly compared to the significant Russian advances into Soledar and Blahodatne. When we look at the combat map, you can see that fighting continues near the Sil rail station. This map does not have the Sil rail station as being controlled by Russian forces, though some pictures have indicated that it is under Russian control. I think this is probably very contested, as is Krasnohora. And of course, Russian forces continue to push into eastern Bakhmut. And from the south, again, this doesn't have Klitschivka as having changed hands, but it indicates that there is some Russian offensive work near Klitschivka. Russia continues, of course, to also push near Donetsk. I feel like chances are this division of combat power is reflective of different forces pushing. Probably the Russian, either the DNR, LNR, primarily fighting near Donetsk, and primarily the Wagner group, maybe backed up by MOD troops, is doing the bulk of the fighting near Bakhmut. When we look at War Mappers update, they have said there's no changes to control in the last 24 hours. They do have the train station at Sil as controlled by, let's see if we can get that, there we go, as controlled by Russian forces. You can see the entirety of the railway there, and Russian forces at least contesting part of Blahodatne, though it's worth noting that the actual Russian control map depicts them as having not taken any part of Sil and only exerting a presence, not control, over parts of Blahodatne. The actual Russian control line is, I'd say, actually probably shallower than a lot of other assessments. Though, again, as we've talked about, this sort of fast-breaking, fast-changing events are not conducive to meter by meter updates, which is kind of what we're looking at now. When we see the general map, of course, there's no major changes according to War Mapper. But what's most interesting and tragic, really, is that the Ukraine's Minister of Interior and others have been killed in a helicopter crash outside of Ukraine. The helicopter crash in a residential area near the capital of Kiev, killing about a dozen people. The interior minister oversees the country's police and emergency services, so he is absolutely valuable to this war effort, and is the most senior official killed since Russia invaded 11 months ago. It's the reported right now as a crash. It said it was in a foggy morning in Kiev's suburbs. This makes a lot of sense. As you guys might recall, helicopter crashes in foggy conditions are tragically common. This is similar to, at least on the surface, I'm not exactly a helicopter pilot. On the surface, it's similar to what happened to Kobe Bryant, who also was killed in an accidental helicopter crash in foggy conditions. And the fact is that in wartime environments like this, there's just a lot more helicopter flights. And of course, personnel, maintenance personnel, parts, planning, all can sometimes take a back seat, can be done. Corners can sometimes be cut when everyone is really busy like this. So again, I'm sure Russia will claim to have had some role in this, but I think the fact is that this is not a accidental helicopter crashes are not uncommon. You guys can look even in the U.S. military stateside. Helicopter accidents are something that happens probably, I'm going to say, every other year. No matter how hard you work at keeping things safe, right? Hard training. It necessitates a lot of helicopter flights. So, our heart, of course, goes out to all the families of those who were killed in this. But again, I think for geopolitical purposes, we should be reasonably certain that this is just no more than a tragic accident. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much all I had for you for today. Not any huge updates, but still important changes to if not to the front line, then definitely to the situation in Kiev. As always, guys, if you want access to the uncensored combat video breakdowns, the kind that YouTube doesn't want me to show you anymore, but you know the viral videos I'm talking about, you want to join me on the Patreon. Thanks so much to my Lieutenant tier patrons, but the link is in the description. And the new video will be dropping on Friday. So I will see you guys then, and take care. See you in the next one.